Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Big Bros podcast. My name is Ilan, and I'm joined by my lovely friend and co-host Jeremy. But more importantly, we're joined by Darcy Tucker, who played 156 games in the AFL across the Fremantle Dockers and North Melbourne Football Club. I actually met Darcy at one of Danny Kennedy's mastermind events. Shout out to Danny Kennedy, good friend of the show. And we had a quick chat with Darcy about mindset, performance, and what life in footy and after footy was starting to look like for you. But first of all, Darcy, thanks for coming on.
No, thanks, lads. Cheers for having me. First podcast, so really looking forward to it. So
Awesome. I was going to say, so we just spoke before. The last time you were on a pod was a few years ago. But I remember when I did speak to you at DK's mastermind event, you were very good at articulating yourself in the sense that I thought that you had prior podcast experience or maybe you've done more media. So is this like an area that you've gone into before?
I suppose it's just the media do with AFL. Like, I don't know, it probably wasn't my strong suit early days, but you just develop them sort of skills getting through. But first solo podcast, so we'll see how we go. Sorry if I ramble on a little bit at times. But
ramble away.
I really look forward to it.
We like it. Last time we spoke, you noted that North hadn't renewed your contract and there was a little bit of uncertainty, and a huge theme of our show is navigating uncertainty no matter what age you're at. How's navigating that uncertainty been for you?
Yeah, it's been quite a weird, challenging period, but at the same time, like this transition since not being offered a contract, it's been really, I don't know, affirming in a sense and comforting in a sense that all the people I've spoken to that are willing to help me out with the next phase have said, mate, you're going to be so good in whatever you do. So it's been really like comforting, I guess, when you're sort of early days in your career, you really dread the moment you're not going to get offered a contract and it's all over. You probably think, we'll probably talk about it with the identity piece further in the show, but you probably think you're tied to football and when footy's over, like what's next? And there's a big part of that, but I think this sort of transition of navigating that over the past, what's it been now, 2 to 3 months has been, really affirming in the sense that I'm going to be okay, whatever I do. And it's been really good. I've got a lot of good support networks around me that have really helped me through it. And yeah, I'm sort of one that's, all right, it's a big roadblock or challenge, but what's next? So, yeah, it's been a really good period, actually. So
that's awesome. And that what's next mindset, does that click into gear from the get-go when that happens? Or does that take a fair bit of time to kind of click into gear?
Yeah, I think sort of, we'll probably speak about, you mentioned Danny Kennedy before with the mindset. So I've worked really close with him over the last 3 years, and I think it's now ingrained in me with challenges. Like a lot of, I guess, I don't know, a lot of people in my position probably see the negative side of things, which it is a negative thing. Your contract doesn't get renewed, your footy career is over in a sense at the moment. But I've sort of done a lot of work in that to see that as the opportunity. So what's next sort of did click into gear from the get-go. And yeah, there's still obviously challenging periods with it and it's not as easy as it sounds, but I suppose my mindset stuff that I've done with Danny Kennedy has really helped me navigate this period and sort of, yeah.
So with mindset, is that something that most players do? And maybe in your case, was that something you were doing for a while? And why did you choose to focus on mindset?
Yeah, it's becoming more common, I think, in the AFL environment, which it needs to be. Like, every club would have a sports psychologist at the club and probably a normal psychologist at the club. So a lot of clubs employ 2 psychologists, which is, I think it's the most important part. To be at a footy club, like, yeah, it's a good industry and you're doing something you love, but the brutality of the business is, it's massive, and it can be hard for, especially young players. Like, you're coming in as an 18-year-old, stepping into that high-performance environment. There's so many challenges that can really weigh you down. So yeah, it's a very common part in AFL, but you also need to do a lot of work yourself on it, I think. So that's why I suppose over the last 3 years working with Danny, I've seen not so much my footy growth, but my life just change and my perspective on life change. And
wow.
It's been able to navigate me through challenging periods or little setbacks and just be happy, I think. Just go about every day positively and move forward in whatever I do, which has created a real sense of happiness in my life. Whereas early days in football, I think I'd really ride the bumps of it. Like, if you'd probably tie yourself to how you're performing. Like, if if footy's going well, yeah, life's going well.
Yeah.
But if you face roadblocks and stuff as a young player, you probably ride the waves of that as well. So, yeah, I think it's a really important part to AFL and to high-performing environments, I guess.
Because I remember you mentioned, like, if you got delisted maybe a couple of years ago, minus the mindset work with Danny, you probably wouldn't have approached the opportunity and challenge in the way that you have now. Is there any specific tools or skills that working with Danny has instilled you with?
Yeah, that's definitely right. Like, if I'd been delisted 5 years ago or been in this position 5 years ago, I reckon I'd be a bit of a mess. Like, and right now, I've actually surprised myself with how I've handled it, and nothing's changed in terms of my happiness and the way I've go about my life. And it's been really good as well. Like, my support networks haven't changed either. Like, now that I'm delisted, it's not like you lose friends or people think of you differently. Like, my family's still there. My fiance still loves me. Still get home to my dogs. They still love me. So, yeah, it's been a really good period in that sense. But I suppose the tools are, I don't know, I'm really big on morning routine and sort of going by that day to day and setting your intentions for the day. So I'm a firm believer you can choose how you feel every single day, and that's by really setting yourself up in the morning with setting some clear intentions and gratitude and all that sort of stuff that really sets you out for the rest of the day, and it creates momentum, I think. And I
was going to say, we're suckers for a cool morning routine. What does your morning routine look like? Do you have like a consistent wake up time regardless of day? Do you go straight into like a morning walk? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, it's nothing super cool, but wake up time's a big one. So I probably used to be one that would just get up when you need to leave. So get up and then you rush into the shower and go to work or whatnot. So now I try to get up 6 o'clock every morning. That can vary on weekends to 7 a.m. or whatever, but I try to get an early wake up in. So, and I take my dogs for a walk first thing in the morning, so get the step count up a little bit. Try to reach that 10,000 steps for the end of the day. Walk the dogs, get a coffee, come back, journal a little bit. So that's where I set out my intentions and gratitude and same affirmations and stuff like that, and then sets up the rest of my day, which is good, and it makes you feel not rushed going to work or whatever, and you feel like you've sort of won the morning and you're in a good mindset and headspace to really be productive for the rest of the day. And then at night you sort of plan your next day, and it just flows on from there.
More organised.
Just really organised. And I think footy creates that. Like AFL, you've got a calendar and structure, where you need to be, what you need to do, and I suppose now I've realised once you're out of that, you got to create your own sort of calendar as such and structure. So I operate really good on processes and structure. So I think it really holds me in good stead.
Love it. And with going back to the psychologist at footy clubs and the mindset coach that you're working with on the side and that other players work with on the side, why do players maybe choose to work with a mindset coach if they do have access to psychologists at the club? And why did you choose to conjoin those two things? Was there a moment that you were like, hey, this is great, I've got access to psychologists, but I want to do something a bit more?
Yeah, I think, and it's hard to get that at the club, the one-on-one. Like, you do meet one-on-one, but it's tailored to probably the whole group a bit more. But they're very good. Like, the sports psychologists at the club are really good, and it is on yourself to go seek that out and to try explore the one-on-one a bit more. With me sort of going with Danny, how it sort of works, so I'm best mates with his brother Paddy. We all grew up in Horsham. We're all Horsham boys in the country. Nice. So, so Danny reached out when I got a trade back from Fremantle to Melbourne about 3 years ago. If I wanted to work with him a bit more, which I jumped at the opportunity, and he opened me up to techniques and sort of perceptions that I've never been exposed to. So he's big on the law of attraction, and what you think about is what you sort of become, and how you sort of perceive the world positively. And so it was all that sort of stuff I actually hadn't been exposed to before, and it was a whole new world for me of self-discovery. And I'm not woo-woo or anything like that. I'm not that type of person, but even if all this stuff isn't true, like with what you think about is what you become, and stuff like that, it still really sets me up to go about my day positively and move forward in life. So I find it really helps for me, and everyone's different. Working with DK has been unreal. So he's been really good for me.
It's interesting because the mindset coaching stuff, as you were asking that question, I was thinking, because I'm also just finished my psychology training, and the difference I feel like between the mindset coaching and the psych training is one is very focused on evidence-based. So like the science stuff, the things that we can easily measure. The mindset stuff is a little bit more, I would say it's ambitious, but there's more science coming out to support a lot of those things. So obviously, if you think about something consistently, there's more probably evidence to suggest certain parts of your brain light up and you literally become that thing you're thinking about. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff in that space. And I think that you mentioned that it's on the player to take that on. Was there anything specifically about that period from being traded that prompted you to be like, I should probably get mindset coaching?
Yeah, I think so. So I think prior to that, and the year I got traded, I had a pretty rough year in terms of injury and things go on. So I think getting that trade, I'm like, I sort of perceive, without realising it, now I realise it now, that I probably had a pretty negative mindset, but I think it's how we're wired as humans. Like everyone sees a threat. It's a survival mechanism, right? Like everyone sees a threat in life, what could go wrong, like what if this goes wrong. So I was definitely like that in my Freo days. So I wish I had the mindset now that I had back in the Freo days, but without that happening, maybe I didn't go down this path. So, with my footy career at Freo, I was probably worrying about selection every single week, worrying about what coaches thought about me, sort of worrying about getting injured. They're all things I can't control, right? And I was probably worrying about that too much without me even realising it, but now I realise it now. So, I think that definitely prompted me to, when I moved over, when Danny sort of sat down with me and spoke about what he worked on, I'm like, I think this could be really beneficial for me. Yeah. And it was, like, even a year after working with him, I probably had one of my best years in footy as well. Like
at North, yeah?
Yeah, at North. So not this season, but last season, I played every single game, and it was probably one of my most consistent seasons in the AFL. So it helped my footy, definitely. But like I spoke about before, it more importantly helped my life and how I go about my life every single day. So, I think that definitely prompted me my times at Freo. But without sort of doing this work, I didn't realise that at the time.
Yeah, wow.
I like that.
And coming across to Freo from Horsham, big transition. What is that like, being an 18-year-old coming from a small country town to a big city like Fremantle in Perth? Was that hard to adjust to? And what was it like for you as an 18-year-old in terms of your living situation and just settling in?
Yeah, it's a massive move. Like Perth feels like another country over there. It's a long way away. 4-hour flight, 3-hour time difference at times. So it's a big move. But I think, so I went to boarding school in Ballarat from Horsham. So that's 2 hours away from Horsham. An hour away from here. So I went to boarding school year 11 and 12 as a 17, 18-year-old. And I think that held me in really good stead before the move to Perth. But still, it still doesn't quite prepare you. So draft day, you get drafted, mum's crying, got to move to the other side of the country. You pack up your bags and you go on in 2 days, literally from draft day. So, it was a massive move, but the club was really good. A lot of the boys are in a similar position. There's a lot of country boys. There was a lot of country boys at Freo, a lot of SA boys all over the country, really. So, but at the same time, I still probably got home. It takes a year to adjust, I think.
Yeah,
you get a little bit of homesick. I was with Ali, my fiance at the time, my fiance now, and I was still with her at the time. So, we've been together 11 years. So making the move away from her for the first year was obviously tough as well. So we had to do long distance for a year. But then, I'm really fortunate to have her by my side, and she was moved over after our first year, which made things so much better. Wow. So we're able to then live together, and we started to really build some friendships over there, and really enjoyed Perth as a place. But 7 years there, had a really good stint there, and we're probably always going to come back at some stage. Like, we're both Victorian, be closer to friends and family. So it was the right time to make the big shift back. But it was a tough move at the start, but really loved my time there.
And playing for Freo, because we're so engrossed in our Melbourne bubble here, and talking to Melbourne people and Melbourne players, but playing for Fremantle, I mean, we've never really spoken to someone who's playing on the other side of the country, and a club like Fremantle, where it was probably one of the still more recently established clubs compared to the older Victorian clubs. What's it like inside the four walls playing for a club, and the fans and the engagement? What was it like as a whole playing for Fremantle?
I loved it. 2-team town over there in WA. They're footy mad over there. So, it was awesome. Like, I'd get recognised over there a lot more because you'd go down the street, I'd live close to Freo, so you'd hang out in Freo, and everyone says a Freo fan. Like you can't go down the street here and there's how many clubs here? I don't know, 8 to 10 Victorian clubs. So it's all sort of spread out. So it was footy mad over there, but yeah, I loved it. Like the derbies were huge. Wow. West Coast games, they were still the biggest games I've played in. There was a big rivalry there, so, and the whole town would just talk about it for the whole 2 weeks leading into it. So yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was a good way to get introduced into AFL, and yeah, like you said, established club, really good footy club. Like I know my first year going there, we didn't go quite well, but the year before that, minor premiers. So I went into a really established, good team. Ross Lyon was coach. You're playing with the likes of Pavlich, Fife, Mundy, Sandilands, Ballantyne. Like there was, it's pretty eye-opening going there. So walking into a really good club in that sense was really good for my development. And then I sort of come in at a time where they went through a rebuild because we had a pretty poor first year when I was there, which probably helped me as such because I got to get a lot of games in and really develop in that sense.
I reckon the biggest mistake Freo ever made was switching the Guernsey from like the green like anchor to just the pure purple, and now every time they wear like the retro kit, it just gives me memories. So we do a thing where we name niche footy players from the early 2000s. So when I think of like old Freo players,
who do you think of when you see that Guernsey?
Byron Shammer.
Shammer.
Shammer, like I remember, because I'm a D's Nuffy, so I'm thinking of Melbourne versus Freo 2006, like semi-final that destroyed us. Like, it would have been Subiaco Oval at the time. But for you, did you have like a pinch me moment when you first, I guess, arrived at the club? Was it a first game, a training session, maybe training next to players like, Matthew Pavlich and being coached under Ross Lyon?
Yeah, I think it was seeing how tall Warren Sandilands was. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And he's tall for a while.
Yeah, geez, he was massive. Like, he's a big human.
Oof.
But there was plenty of them. Like, even just... so I was a St Kilda fan. So Ross Lyon was coach of the heydays for St Kilda. Even though we didn't win a premiership, they got into 3. And I went to all 3 of them, which was upsetting because we didn't win one. But... so he was like the head coach of the team I bagged for. So then obviously getting drafted to Fremantle, he's my coach now. So that was a bit of a pinch me moment. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, and just going head to head with Nat Fife, like being around the midfield and stuff like that, and rubbing shoulders with Brownlow medalist, and then he was a 2-time Brownlow medalist. Like it's pretty crazy to think about, like to be able to play alongside and go to training every day with players like that. Yeah, I suppose you'd get pinch me moments every single day at the club when in your first year, which is crazy.
With that, I mean, so many champions are around you at Fremantle there, and in the AFL now, and in a lot of clubs, there are a lot of champions around a lot of clubs. But my question is, how much of an influence do those champion players actually have on the wider playing group? Because what do you think makes a good club? Is it really having a few champions in the team, or is it a bit more flatline than that? Is it more so having just consistent role players?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the whole list. So it's obviously it helps having some champion players and some guns. But footy, it's not like a basketball where you got 5 on the court. You got 18, and if one cog's not working, it can really break down the whole team. So yeah, the role players, and I'm a bit biased because I was a bit of a role player in my career, but I think they're super important to the success of the club. And you're sort of the mid tier, so you got your 10 good players, but if your next 20 on the list can be really solid and the depth of the list is really good, I think that's going to hold teams in really good stead to be there at the pointy end of the season. And with that comes a lot of luck with injury and stuff like that. If you lose 10 injuries during the year, you see the teams that do that, they sort of struggle at the end of the year, and it's because you lose a bit of your depth, and that's sort of the key cog of your team. So, there's a lot that goes into success, I think, and I was unfortunate not to get there. But
close.
Sort of close at times. We made finals 2023 at Freo. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and the whole, not even just the players, it's the staff, it's the coaches, it's the people in charge of the footy club, it's the whole lot, and the culture and the environment, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's so, when I think about, you're right, there's so many cogs, and I love my role players. I think they're incredibly important. I think they don't get enough love. So I think with that, hopefully going forward, there's more love. for those role players. With that being said, though, when you are training in that environment, what do you learn about work ethic? What do you learn about kind of your own potential as well? Because I'm sure when you're 18 and you've probably been outperforming a lot of players just by virtue of playing footy, they take, whoever gets drafted is already considered in a very unique role of their own or unique position. And they're probably like in the 90th percentile of football skill in the country. At the same time, though, what did you find that you unlocked about yourself that maybe you didn't know you had previously in your kind of footballing game?
Yeah, it's a good one for younger players. Like, you're exactly right. Everyone's probably drafted as a midfielder as such. Well, probably not at the under 18s, but they would have grew up playing being the best midfielder in their team, in their region, in their state. And then you go to an AFL club and you're probably different position. You're not the best midfielder there. It's going to be hard to crack the midfield. So that sort of identity piece, you got to come and learn the ropes. But I think everyone these days has got the mindset of, I think when you first get to the club, it's the mindset of work as hard as you can. Like, that was my mindset anyway. You got to earn the respect of your players and coaches and just work as hard as you can and learn as much as you can. You've got access to these unreal players and coaches that have been there and experienced it, and you just got to be a sponge and learn as much as you can and apply what they apply. Like, it's a lot of observing and watching and seeing how the Nat Fifes go about it, seeing how the Pavliches go about it. Like, it's just a lot of learning, I think. But then you've got to now get to a point pretty quickly after that pre-season of learning of, all right, I want to play and I want to impress. And you got to believe that as well. So I think these days, kids come in, they're so much confident these days. It wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, it was like, all right, you got to learn your ropes. There's a bit of a hierarchy here. You got to learn from the senior players. I think kids come in these days and they think they already run the show, which is
Harley
quite
Reid.
funny. Yeah, but they do. There's some bloody good kids coming in these days and they're confident. And I think that's the other side of it. You've got to have that confidence and belief in yourself, because you can't stay in that stardom sort of mindset too much for too long, because if you're always just saying, oh, wow, I'm just playing with Nat Fife here or whatnot, you probably won't get there yourself. You've got to believe that, all right, that's my aim, I want to get there, and I've got to start acting like I belong in this league. And that sort of comes with experience and getting games, and you get different moments where you have confidence hits of like, oh, all right, I belong here, I can feel I can play at the level. So that's what helped me in my first year. And I'll still find my way for the majority of my career, to be honest. Like, I never felt really cemented in the team, even though I played a lot of footy and had played most of the year, every single year. But you play games and you get confidence in yourself with things you do, and you start to believe you belong.
Yeah.
Can you take us into what actually happens behind the scenes for a trade? Because we always hear it on SEN, we hear it on all the kind of footy media outlets of, Tom Morris reports that this player's linked and maybe this club's going to give up a first round and whatever. For you, what was that process like?
Yeah, it's probably different for everyone in terms of the reasoning. My specific reasoning was I was Victorian, wanted to get back home. I've had a good stint over in Perth. My last year over there, I had a pretty rough run with injuries and whatnot, and everything was sort of just pointing me towards coming back to Victoria. And my fiancée, Ali, got a job here halfway through the year as well, so she'd already made the move a couple of months before me. So I'm like, this is just alignment. Like, it's perfect timing to sort of come back. But the process of it was, I didn't know I was getting a trade during that year. I was still contracted for the year after, so I was still every intention of sort of playing out the year after and playing out my contract. But things just sort of happened and some interest developed from other clubs, from my manager. So it sort of starts with your manager. Like, you're always in touch with your manager, letting him know like where you're at, how you're feeling, what your ideas are with what you want to do. And then they sort of do all that work in the background. So you're not sort of speaking to clubs actively at all. It's all your managers sort of just aligning it up. And then, because we just want to focus on the footy season, right? So we just play out the footy season. So a lot of times when you hear in the media, players get asked about this trade stuff and they say, oh, just wait until the end of the season. I think it's actually true. Like, they're still focused of playing their best footy for the club they're at for the rest of the year, and their manager's doing a lot of the work in the background. But then obviously once the season's over, you start talking to clubs, and then you start really nailing down that process of where you're going to go. So that's sort of how it looked for me.
Did you get a coffee with Clarko?
It was sort of during a couple of Zoom meetings. So yeah, it was a couple of Zoom meetings. I didn't get a coffee with him because it was a bit hard when he was in Victoria and I was in Perth. So, but yeah, he was a ripper. So I clicked with him straight away, and he's another country boy and got along really well with him. So
Easy.
Yeah, and so then when you are in the off season and the trade period is in full pelt and it's actually happening, are you just standing by your phone waiting? Do you actually have much communication at all during the process, or is it really just those like milestone calls that you get informed about?
Yeah, so everyone's probably different in that situation as well. A lot of them go down to the wire and they're not sure if it's going to get done. I was probably lucky where my manager sort of said, mate, it's going to get done in the first day or two. And I think I got done day 1 or day 2. So it was always going to happen. I think both parties agreed before the actual trade period that it was going to happen. So, but yeah, it was still like it got to trade period. I'm listening to trade radio, never sort of done that before. And just sort of, Ali was in an apartment in Melbourne at the time. So I was in her apartment just sort of pacing around the room to see when it would get done. And yeah, it was a bit of an emotional experience actually. Like you're closing one chapter at Freo, which...
Sure.
I loved the place. Like, it was, looking back on it, I really enjoyed my time there. Had so many good mates and close friendships there, and loved the people at the place really. Like, all the staff members I got there are lovely, and I got along really well with them. So it was emotional in that sense, closing that chapter, but I had this excitement emotion as well that now I'm playing footy in Melbourne, where I've always wanted to play, back closer to friends and family. Like, I was about to embark on a journey in my life that's going to set me up for the rest of my life in terms of being a staple in Victoria and being closer to friends and family. So, yeah, it was a really good period. It was a really good day.
Yeah, I've always thought about that quick transition after a trade happens. Like you see the trade go down, and then it doesn't take too long for the player that has just been traded to already have some merchandise from the club that they're going to. Like, you're in Perth and you somehow already have a North Melbourne Guernsey on
Crazy,
you.
isn't it? Yeah.
So that's always been funny. And also the fact that, just you guys as players are also listening to trade radio for the updates just like we are.
Yeah,
Like,
the regular fans.
Yeah, it's actually sort of like that. Like, you listen to the live updates on that, and you probably get a call from your manager 2 minutes before it's about to get released to the media. Like, the
That's
media
so
is that onto it these days. Like, like, credit to them. Like, they're just straight onto it. Like, I'd get a call from my manager. Next thing, it's done online, posted in 2 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
Like, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
What?
Another player, a good mate of yours, a good role player that we'll give a shout out to that also went through that trade process. I'm a big fan of his, Blake Acres, being a Carlton man myself. Sheriff. Where did the name Sheriff come from?
A funny story. So it did originate in Fremantle. So it was Roy Lobb's 30th birthday party. Actually, it was a Cowboys theme, and he didn't just go the normal Cowboy. He went the Sheriff, and he ran the whole show. If you know Blake, he runs all the drinking games. He runs the fines at the footy club. So yeah, that's where it originated, that party.
And it stuck.
And it stuck somehow, and somehow he's got it to Carlton as well. So from there, he ran the fine system at Fremantle. So still the Sheriff. He still called himself that. And then, coming to Carlton, he must do it at Carlton as well. So it's crazy that it stuck, but
there you go.
It's a funny one.
Because as Carlton fans, I mean, we had no idea why the hell he's called Sheriff. Like, is he shouting orders on the field? But there you go. It all started from a dress up at Rory Lobbs.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Did you have a nickname?
Nah, I'm pretty simple. Tucker. All to do with my name.
Easy, yeah.
I was pretty lucky to get away with a nickname relating to my name, which is good.
Love it.
Any superstitions?
No. Not super superstitious, but I'm routine. Like I spoke about my morning routine. I follow routines, but I wouldn't be like if something messed up in that routine, I wouldn't wig out about it and freak out. So just simple things like I get a massage when I get to the ground, and but I don't put one sock on before the other or whatnot. Don't wear the same jocks. So probably early days I did little things like that, but you realise that's not what's going to make you play good footy. But you got to do what works for you. So I'm just really routine based.
When you got to North, because the playing list would have been quite young at the time, did you feel like you had maybe, I'm not sure what leadership expectations were discussed, if they were even in the first place, but did you feel as though you were getting some sort of opportunity to kind of exercise those qualities as well, given that the list was so young?
Yeah, definitely. So even when I left Freo, it was sort of turning to a young list. But coming to North, I think I was 26 years old and in the top 5 oldest players, which I thought was pretty crazy. I still feel young. I'm only 28 and I feel like I'm a 21-year-old. So, but yeah, definitely. I think it was a really good opportunity for me to work closely with the younger boys and build some strong relationships with them as well. So I even went to Europe with like sort of 5 of the young boys, and Griff Logue as well, who's my housemate. So went to Europe with them after the first season, was able to grow that connection really strongly with them. And yeah, I'm a really good bloke, like, so I really made some strong connections with those boys, and it was a really good opportunity for me to grow in that space. So, and yeah, from here, I want to keep going in that space as well with whatever footy I play at whatever level. Yeah, that's just something I really want to do and give back as such, because when you're in your career, you're sort of, as much as you don't want to be, you're so self-focused on trying to make it yourself. But when you get to my age now, you sort of see the switch where, all right, how can I give back and how can I get fulfillment out of helping younger players? So that's something I'm really looking forward to from here on in.
And do you think you were always that person? Because I'll be honest, just listening to you speak, you're very introspective and reflective, which is a huge quality that we love about our guests, especially when they come on the show and they're able to kind of reflect on who they were, what they've evolved into. But for you, was that always the case? Did you feel like you were maybe more self-centered, if that's even the right word, when you were maybe in your earlier years? And was that transition something that just naturally came about as you became older in the system?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely in a footy sense. Like early days, yeah, you just try to make it and try get the best out of yourself and be the best player you can be. And then I think it's just gradually as time goes on and develop more experience and get a bit older, it just naturally sort of changes into, all right, I'm now in the top half oldest at the list now, or top 5 oldest at the list. So yeah, you just naturally sort of progress and try to help the young guys come through. But yeah, off field I've always been, I wouldn't say self-centered, like I've been a really caring person. Yeah, respectful and really care about others. So yeah, it's something I really hold true to myself and core value of mine. So
yeah,
try to take it wherever I go.
And talk about those young players coming through. I mean, we touched on role players. I mean, at North Melbourne, you've even got some young champions, likes of, Harry Sheasel, George Wardlaw, those types of players. Do you see a difference with those players, just starting out their careers versus maybe the players you saw just starting out the career, 10 years ago when you first got started? Like, what are the differences now and then with those players?
Yeah, well, I spoke a little bit about it before about the mindset. I think they're coming in really confident these days, which is a very good trait to have. Like, they believe they can dominate at the level straight up, which I think back in the day, you had the odd player like that, but it was a lot about earn your respect, all right, do your apprenticeship as such. So I think that's changed a fair bit. But yeah, speak about Harry Sheasel, like he's probably an outlier of it. He's built in a lab, I think. He's a perfect human. Yeah, he's one of a kind. So his professionalism is as good as probably the most professional player in the league. Like his routines and professionalism, the way he goes about his day to day in terms of trying to be the best athlete he can is very impressive for a kid coming into the system straight away, which I think that's what's held him in really good stead. And he's got leadership qualities. He's a very good person. So he's already started off with, I think he's got 2 BNFs, hasn't he? Yeah. Something like that. So he's already started off very well, but he's got a lot ahead of him, which is very good. And it's exciting for the North Footy Club. Like, they've got the Wardlaw, Sheasels, others you can mention, a heap of them, but they're in a really good position to, if they keep that core group together and develop some experience, 50 to 100 games playing together, yeah, they've got a good future ahead of them. So, yeah. But yeah, players like that coming in these days, you don't get many like Harry, but they are starting to, I think the day and age these days, health and fitness and wellness and all that sort of stuff is very prominent in kids coming through school, teenage years, which it probably wasn't as prominent back in my day. So it's good to see the league's in a good position.
Yeah. How did you keep the morale up over the last few years at the football club? Because there's no secret that North was rebuilding, which means a lot of losses come your way. And for a young group, that can be quite debilitating. How did, I guess, your position in the team, or what did you find you could do to help that morale?
Yeah, it is debilitating. Like, everyone wants to play to win, and when you're losing every single week, it does sort of take it out of you. But it's a credit to the people we've got at the club. Like, the feeling week by week wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, I've had feelings at Freo early days where you win one week and the feeling's really good during the week. you lose the next and everyone's a bit down in the dumps and stepping on eggshells or whatnot. But I think North's a really good footy club. They've got really good people there, and the culture in place there is really good. The players, like everyone's best mates, like it's a really good feeling there. And I think that's what holds the morale up. It's the beauty of everyone trying to keep that energy high and positive energy. And that's not saying they're happy about losing. Like, you do your review, you get your feedback out, your honest feedback, you're very clear on what you need to improve on to try to win next week. But then you push that aside, you move on, and you try to attack the week to improve. So I think that was what was really good at North. And yeah, my place in that is just try to keep the energy high and be positive. And I'm a very positive guy now, so you just try to spread that positivity around.
Did you ever get a spray in your time?
Yeah, well, I had Ross Lyon as a coach. So
yeah, what's worse, Ross or Clarko?
Yeah.
They both can give a good spray. So, I've had me fair share of trauma in that sense. But I've got nothing specific for you. But
yeah, it can be rough.
Look, I had a fair few from Ross early days, but what I learnt with Ross, I think it was tough love. If you got a spray from Ross, he actually believed in you. So looking back on some of the sprays I've had from him, it's really set me up to good habits and good life lessons, which is really good. So, I've had some funny ones.
Yeah. It'd be so funny to, I feel like, because I don't know, I see him now coaching St Kilda, and he looks way more chilled. There's like, I even remember where Saints came back and beat my beloved football club. He was just sitting in his chair, just like arms crossed like this as Naz goes and slots the winner. I think he's just chilled out over the last 5-10 years.
It looks like it. What do they say? Cuddly Ross or whatever. It looks like he has changed in that sense. But yeah, I remember. I'll say one. It was an open training session at Fremantle. Well, it was probably first. I think it was my first year. So it was an open training session. I can't remember the exact specifics of who it was, but so I was behind a stoppage and I caught someone, so I took someone else's man, which is a lot of my role at times. But my initial man ended up getting the ball in the middle of the ground or something like that. And he stopped the whole drill in front of an open training, like there's thousands there. And he said, whose man was that? And I'm like, oh, it was me being a good bloke. Oh, it was mine. And he made me run a 400 with the whole drill stopped. In front of the whole open training, and they didn't resume the drill until I'd done the 400. He's like, go run a 400.
Yeah.
And then he actually, so it wasn't my fault. I took someone else's man, and he actually apologised that night over text message. So it was quite funny. Had a good laugh about it that night. But at the time, I was like, oh my god, this is the most embarrassingest thing ever. But there's a few little ones like that. But yeah, he's a funny man, Ross. He's funny.
That's great.
In the moment, he's just, and you can't answer back at him. I was, being the good bloke I am, I didn't want to sort of argue with him, so I just copped it like a champ.
Nice and respectful, just copping it on the chin, exactly. And you mentioned now footy for you now. You're not exactly sure where it's at now, but you do want to play to a level. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm currently with Carlton VFL and training with the AFL boys. So I still believe I'm at the level and still fit and young, I think. So I'm still 28 years old. I've still got plenty of years left in me. So whether that's at VFL level, if I get a chance at AFL again, that's awesome. Whether that's I just want to play the highest level I can. And I think that's just my high performance mindset. Want to get the best out of myself, want to play the highest level I can, and I'll get great fulfillment out of that wherever I play. So, it's a good chance to just enjoy my footy and just play at whatever level and hopefully play some good footy.
Is it weird in a way to almost feel like you're now training, but you're kind of training with a bit of like a lease on life type of thing? It's like if something happens for you, great, but if it doesn't, you're also set up in other ways for the future. Where's your mindset with training now versus what it was when you're actually in the club in a pre-season, knowing that you've got a list spot?
Yeah, it's exactly that. So. Look, obviously everyone wants to get back on an AFL list, but I'm not sort of set in stone in that. Like, if it happens, it happens. And, I know I'm capable of being the right fit at whatever club that might be if I do get another chance at it. But if not, I'm 28 years old. I'm really looking forward to the off-field side of things, and I've been building that over the last couple of years anyway. And I'm really looking forward to that journey ahead. And footy's only a small portion of your life. Like, even if you do have a very, very long career, you got the rest of the life ahead of you. So I'm really looking forward to that. But exactly right, training now becomes enjoyment. That fulfillment piece I was speaking about with helping the younger guys, it's it's passing on my knowledge to the younger VFL guys. It's trying to help them sort of come through and be their best selves. Like now that's sort of where my mindset's definitely at. And yeah, just enjoying it. Like training with the AFL boys is really fun. I've got some good mates there. And then being able to play at VFL level, I'll be able to enjoy myself. So
For sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And you mentioned they're working on life after footy whilst you still were playing and setting yourself up for after. What were you doing and what are you doing? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, it's across my whole career. I've done a lot of different stuff, but currently, so it's been building over the last 12 months. I'm starting a performance underwear brand with a good mate, Lockie Schultz, who's at Collingwood, big shooter. But yeah, so that's been a very good learning curve for me. We've been building over the last 12 months. We're probably 3 or 4 months away from release. We haven't got a release date yet, but stay tuned. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a lot of learnings and very excited for what's ahead with that. Like we've built the foundations and some strong foundations to bulletproof the business as such, and we really got strong belief in it to go far with it. So
why underwear?
So yeah, sort of good nice story. So it's sort of me and Shooter played at Freo together about 5-6 years ago. We were sitting down and thinking there's no sort of underwear that takes over the sporting market. Like we changed jocks as like it's no chafing. Like everyone chafes.
Budgie smugglers.
There's not. Yeah. Well, to be honest, everyone wears budgie smugglers now. Like we did a survey across a few clubs in the league, and the main wearer for underwear in like training and games is budgie smuggler. So, and it's a swimwear brand. It's
Literally.
Not a sports underwear brand. So yeah, we've really taken that, and our product's going to be like it's going to be cooling technology, anti-chafe, super comfortable and sweat resistant. Like we've confirmed bulk production, so we've gone through the sampling phase and we're really happy with our product. So
wow.
Yeah, and what's good about it is the target market is like us. So
Yeah.
we're starting a brand that we're targeting people like us. So it's really enjoyable, and we know exactly what we need to produce. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Is the target market exclusively footy players or really anyone in kind of an athlete space where there's a lot of running involved?
Yeah, anyone in an athlete space. So yeah, we got. That's what's good. We've got some touch with some athletes across most sports. So yeah, we're gonna be able to market it really well, and yeah, we think there's a need there. So yeah, we just need to get it out there.
I just remember playing footy in the early days, and you just wear your normal jocks with the skins over the top, and it's chafing like no tomorrow, isn't it? It's not fun.
It's uncomfortable. It's it's very very muddy down there. So
yeah, there you go. What's it called? What's the brand called?
Peaked. Yeah.
Look out for it.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Love it.
But yeah, obviously releasing in a few months, so we've got a marketing plan. We'll start really building that up and pumping that up very soon. So you'll see a bit more of it.
Awesome. I mean, before we finish up, we like to get a little bit more reflective with our questions, and I think you've done a very good job at that thus far. But outside of the 156 games that you played across both clubs, I'm sure you want to be known for more than just your footballing. So if you had to reflect or think about a couple things that you'd want to be known for, what do you think those things would be?
Yeah, well, when we were speaking about that identity piece, a lot of my life has been known as a footballer, I guess. And you tie yourself out a bit, and that's just natural as athletes. Like you do it your whole life. I was playing footy since I was 4 years old, your whole career. So for me, yeah, like I just want to be a very great bloke. Like I think if you ask anyone, I'd hope they say that, and that's what I want to be known for. But yeah, I just want to be known for someone that aligns with their values and tries to be their best self every day and improve every single day. And that's how I try to live every single day. And yeah, the footy identity's now in the background. Like I was a footballer, but Darcy Tucker is not just a footballer. Like I'm a very good person with very good values and really want to get the best out of myself and improve every day. Like that's the main thing I want to be known for.
Love it.
Bloody awesome. Now, mate, before we do wrap up, we always end off with a sweet spot question, and we see the muffins sitting next to us here.
Nice.
Yeah, we got some good blueberry. I think they were blueberry white chocolate muffins.
That's perfect.
Very nice. So yeah, with that, we ask our guests, what is a sweet spot for you? So we'll frame it as to the start of the year so far, maybe because we're just recording this at the start of the year. We're about a week in. What is a moment that has been really good for you currently right now now at the start of 26, or something that you're looking forward to doing in the near future?
Yeah, it's a different one. You started the year now, it's only been a short little reflection piece, but I think it's just starting life in the real world. Like, I start work in a couple of days, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's all the puzzles falling into place. So there was a transition period from getting delisted where there's so much uncertainty. Like, you don't know what you're going to do footy-wise, work-wise, all that stuff. And all that's really fallen into place for the start of this year. So I think that's my sweet spot. Just really looking forward to being a busy, productive man and, a bit like what I spoke about before, getting the best out of every day. So, but yeah, I think... Well, here's one actually. So it was my mum's birthday, January 4th. So was able to get back to Horsham and spend time with mum. And my fiancée, Ali, actually put on a big spread for the whole family at home. So I think that's a bit of a sweet spot moment. That was really good.
Lovely.
Love it, mate. Thank you so much for joining the potty. We've had an awesome time. And also just want to say thank you for being as transparent and honest as you have been. It's been great, but we're really looking forward to seeing what the next chapter of your life looks like, whether that's footy, whether it's non-footy, irrespective, man. Thank you.
No, beautiful, lads. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.